everybody. It's Monday, September 8th, 2025. Welcome to the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast, where if your NFL team is 1-0, say yo! Yo! Gentlemen, we all sweated through week one. Didn't we?
Sure did. This was not easy. I thought we were going to be 0-3 coming into Monday.
But all three of our teams pulled out victories. The Niners getting a late strip sack from Nick Bosa. The Rams getting a fumble forced by Nick Landman, which allowed me to see a lot of memes of Billy Bob Thornton in his series of the same name. And the Bills literally pulling one out of the fire to get a late field goal, a walk-off field goal by Matt Prater to win it. So, as my father would say, they don't ask how, they ask how many, and all of our teams are now 1-0. So
let's go.
That part.
Something about a certain fan base saying the fraudulent MVP or something. I don't really hear much of that this morning.
This guy's early with the twist in the knife, man. That's insane. Come on.
I mean, the amount that was said all off season, it is deserved.
Lamar got the MVP chance as well. You heard him. He got the MVP chance. You know, they were going back.
How'd that work out for him?
It's sort of like both those quarterbacks are good, and we should just appreciate them while they are good.
There you go.
I think that's the thing. Obviously, there's a lot of fantasy stuff going on, too, because that's the whole point of this show. How are you guys I know there's still Monday night games. How are your fantasy squads looking so far, Florio?
Mixed results. Some great, some not so hot, some where I'm like, all right, once, the rookies start getting more involved, it'll be great. And then a couple where I'm like, I don't. I shot myself in the foot in a league or two with some start-sit decisions, and that happens in week one.
It happens.
Overall, feeling pretty good. How about you guys?
How would you LQ? Yeah.
Man, I already felt the wrath of losing by 1 point. AJ Brown, shout out to you, man. My home league where all the homies are in, they're all in the text message chains. They all hit me up like, oh, starting off 0-1 already to a bad start. Like, folks, fellas, people there.
I lost.
It's week 1.
I said it to you guys in the Kings Classic. I lost by 0.1.
God,
welcome to the league.
Yeah, man. It's our pal Mauricio Gutierrez.
Yeah,
that was tough. I'm doing mostly okay in the home league. I somehow need Justin Jefferson to score 14 or fewer points, and I'll pull that one out. Could have had a lot more cushion if I had started Emeka Egbuka over. I have two I got Devontae Adams and Devonta Smith. I could have started Egbuka over either one of those guys, and had a little bit more cushion. But I just need Justin Jefferson to be good, not great, and I can pull one out in the home league. Other than that, everything looks pretty good. There's one of the league I kind of got thumped in, but everything else looks pretty good so far heading into Monday night.
I only care about my home league with my friends because I have to literally hear them directly of all their trash talking. All the other leagues, I'm cooking. We're good. Started Travis Etienne. Javonte Williams started off the season right for you, boy, so we're good. We're good in the other leagues.
Totally get it. We're going to dive through some things that seemed a little bit weird in week one, have a little bit of overreaction theater as well, check on some rookies, and of course, because it's Monday, we'll give you some waiver wire options from week one heading into week two. But want to start with a little bit of news because some guys did get banged up in week one. No surprise there. George Kittle, being a big one, had a touchdown early. I see you with your finger pyramid of doom down there, Laquan. Left with a hamstring injury. He's expected to have an MRI, so we'll see the severity of it and maybe how long he's going to be out. In the meantime, Mike Flory, I'm going to ask you, WTF is a Jake Tonjes, and do we want to add him right now?
I feel like of all of us, you could speak best on this situation.
Who is this guy?
I will say I didn't come away being like, we need to add him there, but I need to see how long Kittle's out for and stuff, right? Like, if he misses a long period of time, then maybe my tune will change.
Maybe. I will say this. In the group chat, with the folks back home, there was kind of unanimous, who the hell is this guy? I mean, like, nobody really seems to know who he was. One of my friends actually kind of knew him because Tonjes went to Cal. That's where he played his college ball. My friend is a big Cal fan. He's like, yeah, I remember him from Cal. He wasn't really a big contributor there either. So He's actually been in the league for a couple of years, was with the Bears in 2022, I believe it was, missed all of 23 with an injury, appeared in 16 games for the 49ers, didn't record a single offensive statistic, and now all of a sudden thrust into the spotlight where he basically, saved Brock Purdy's bacon and caught what was the game-winning touchdown. Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a dumb throw. Tonjes just sort of pulled it out of the air and
Yeah,
saved
like
it.
luckily.
So look, again, they don't ask how, they ask how many. So I would say this. I wouldn't go blowing a lot of fab on Jake Tonjes. The problem right now is Jawan Jennings also hurt, dealing with a shoulder injury. Not sure the severity of that. So we saw Ricky Pearsall get a bunch of targets. You know, beyond that, it's going to be Ricky Pearsall. It's going to be Christian McCaffrey and maybe a sprinkling of some other guys. They just signed Kendrick Bourne to a 1-year deal. That was earlier on Monday morning. I think your answers right now pretty much are Pearsall and McCaffrey. And if you need tight end help or wide receiver help in the short term, you're probably looking away from San Francisco for that because it's just not going to happen. It happened fast. They're waiting for Jennings. They're waiting for Ayuk. We'll see what's up with Kittle. There you go. One that maybe we have a little bit of easier answers to, maybe. Xavier Worthy, who suffered a dislocated shoulder in the Chiefs season opener. Still no timeline for him to return. I believe there's an MRI coming for him as well. I mean, Laquan, we saw Travis Kelce get plenty of targets. We saw Marquise Brown get plenty of targets. Anybody else in that Chiefs offense you're willing to take a swing at on the waiver wire with Worthy out for what looks like it could be an extended period of time?
Yeah, real nasty work how he went out, man. I mean, friendly fire off of Kelce. I mean, Kelsey's a huge dude, so
The Chiefs got to stop taking each other out.
Yeah, like seriously. I mean, it was Mahomes and Rice, now it's Kelce and Worthy. Like, what's going on, man?
I forgot Mahomes took out Rashee Rice. I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
So I totally forgot that part.
Yeah, he's the problem. But anyway, looking at the wide receivers, man, I'm going to correct you real quick, MG. We had Hollywood Brown in week 1, and that's it. All right. I think we had Hollywood Brown in week 1. He earned his name. He earned the stripes. 16 targets. God. I mean, 10 catches. I mean, he was 1 yard short from 100 yards. So I would be like, okay, that was very Hollywood of you. But he did start off rocky because once he dropped that screen pass or whatever it was short to the line of scrimmage, it just fell off his hands. He was ready to go. I'm like, yep, this is why we call you Marquise, brother. It ain't Hollywood. But
he was Pembroke Park Brown is what he was.
Yeah. But I do see myself spending some fab. Not a lot, not breaking the bank, because we all know the week 1 wonders. I mean, once upon a time, Sammy Watkins, we see how that played out in the rest of those seasons. So I look at this as I will drop some
your
fab
Bill's
on
catching a stray right now, huh?
Hey, chill out, man. He was a Ram too. He was a Ram too.
That's true.
But I do feel like I will drop some fab on Hollywood Brown. Just some. I'm not breaking the bank for him. Like, I will acquire him based on, we know there's going to be tons and tons of injuries on this Chiefs offense, and with Worthy likely in the air, you need somebody who's going to catch the ball from Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because, look, Brown is probably out there in a few leagues. I know he got drafted in a lot of spots.
A lot of Florio teams.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look, I've got him in a couple spots too, so I was sort of excited to see that. Florio, would you drop some fab on Juju? Would you do that?
Not on Juju. I would on Marquise Brown because I think there's potentially a 5-week runoff where he's going to be the top target for it. All depends on Worthy. I know they're saying he's trying to play through it and stuff. We'll know more as the week goes on, but yeah, I would for Brown. I'm not Juju because the ceiling I feel like is so low, right? Like he's still playing tight end for them. And speaking of tight end, I am really worried about Travis Kelce. Like, I know he had that long catch and run for a touchdown. He had 4 targets in a game where the Chiefs were trailing throughout, and they lost their number 1 wide receiver immediately. So, like, they get the Eagles next week. I haven't decided yet, but I've spent far too much time last night and this morning going back and forth if I want to include Travis Kelce as a sit or not.
Ooh.
I mean, considering the way the Eagles clamped down pretty much on the entire Chiefs offense in the Super Bowl, but Travis Kelce kind of a non-factor as well. I think it's worth a conversation. I do. I think it's worth a conversation for sure. Yeah, just I'm looking at the rest of that wide receiver room. I mean, Tyquan Thornton got a few deep shots.
He's a
but
best ball kind of guy.
he's a best ball
Yeah.
guy.
Another Thornton. That's a best ball guy.
I just not like
It's in the
Dante.
name.
Like
All
Sarah,
right.
apparently. The one thing I will say about the Chiefs in week 1, at least, they seemed true to their word that they wanted to go downfield. I mean, they took shots downfield. It didn't always connect, but you really did see Mahomes making an effort to be more vertical. So we'll see if they can keep that up. Things may change though with no Xavier Worthy for the
We may be in
foreseeable
a
future.
world where the only Chiefs you play are Mahomes and Marquise Brown. Like,
Because Isaiah Pacheco was not good.
the running back, I full disclosure, I have him as a sit this week, and I was huge on Pacheco. Like, the running back usage was awful for week 1. Yeah, this Chiefs team, it might not be fantasy great again. It could still be. It's
stinks.
1 week, but it's looking like it might be more like the last 2 years.
I
Than the
will
majority.
say I have a few leagues where I'm a little bit deeper on the bench where I'm holding Rashard Smith. I am hoping Matt Nagy just unleashes Rashard Smith in the passing game next week. Just give us a preview of what you want him to do in the passing game if Worthy's going to miss time.
Can we just get Kareem Hunt gone? Like, if he was
Nope.
gone, these two, Pacheco and Smith, could eat. But Hunt is a big thorn in the side.
I think he's
right
good
now.
friends with
Except-
Mahomes. They got to be something
But he also was probably the most effective back they had. You know?
crazy.
They were using him in short yards, third down situations. He seems like he's the most effective guy, but you're right. The ceiling is not there at all. The
I'll
floor's not
die
really
on the
there
hill
for
that I think
fantasy.
Pacheco is, but Hunt is getting the valuable touches.
I think Pacheco will be better. I mean, it's hard to be worse than he was in week 1. I didn't think he'd have a great game, but I actually had him in the 11, 10, 11 point range. Like, I feel like that would have been a kind of a sort of thing for him. I did not think he would be as bad as he was. He's also on my wife's team, so I'd heard about it all weekend long. So that's great.
Nice.
Speaking of running backs, Quinshon Judkins signed his rookie contract over the weekend. There was zero chance he was going to play in week 1, has missed the entirety of the preseason as he was dealing with legal troubles and allegations. Everything has been cleared since then. So he is under contract now. There is some talk he could play in week 2.
Wild.
That's, I guess, positive for the Browns. The negative, Florio, is that they're in Baltimore at the Ravens and have to deal with that Ravens defense. I got a lot of questions. I'm guessing you guys have probably gotten some questions about picking up Judkins, which I said absolutely pick him up. But Florio, would you start him in week 2 against Baltimore?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I peek behind the curtain. I have him as a sit for week 2. And if he plays, I think it ruins Dylan Sampson as well. Dylan Sampson was very useful in week 1, 8 targets. Flacco's clearly going to dump the ball off a lot. But now if you're adding Judkins in, and say what you will about the Ravens, I know people are going to be like, they gave up 41 points and everything like that. That defense is loaded. Like, there is so much talent on that side of the ball, and they are so, like, you could ask Nicolette. I was last night, like, everyone says the strength of this team is the Bills D-line. They were getting mollywopped time and time again by that Ravens D-line. Like, it took a lot of special stuff for the Ravens to give up 41 points last night. I think they're going to have a tremendous success at home against the Browns. So if Judkins plays, I think it takes away all of the Browns running backs. And I'll also tell you, like, I'm not excited for any Brown next week because they're going to get an angry Ravens team in Baltimore, and they struggle to put up points against Cincinnati. There's a other world you're facing in week 2.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. If you had to hold, or I should say this, Laquan, of the 3 backs, right? Jerome Ford, Dylan Sampson, and now Quinshon Judkins, which one is the odd man out there?
It's going to be Jerome Ford. I mean, we're forgetting about Rocket Sanders as well, who was on that team that took on
scored a
lot of the
touchdown.
short yardage. Yeah, he took the short yardage, and he had 2 opportunities in the red zone. So I'm looking at it like, oh, so Jerome Ford's going to be the odd man out as soon as Judkins comes back because we got to look at the quality of this backfield. I mean, Sampson definitely showed out as a pass catcher, man. I mean, look, he is really nasty in the passing game. He's able to break tackles, get upfield, and put his foot in the ground and juke you out of your socks. Like, that's exactly what we've seen him coming out of college. So I think he's solid. Like, he made his role very solid as the pass catcher in the backfield. It's going to be Judkins where he's going to be able to get light on his feet and be able to take on this backfield as the RB1. So I'm looking at this backfield where like a lot of folks went out there and grabbed Jerome Ford. I'll be looking to kind of just move him off my bench. Like it looks like this backfield is going to be a constant headache trying to figure out who's going to be doing what.
Yeah, that's the hard part, is trying to figure out how this thing's gonna break down at this point. And I'm with you. I think it's probably Jerome Ford who sort of gets pushed to the background, but even
Yeah.
that may take a couple of weeks, and even that might not be consistent. Like it, I also can see a world where all three of these guys just sort of rotate and they go with whoever the hot hand is, which is the worst of all scenarios, especially on a bad team that's not gonna score a lot of points. I did love,
do
by the
think
way, Rocket
judging
Sanders scores a touchdown, and I saw a lot of Sanders scores for the Browns. No, not that one. Not, not
that one.
that one. Not that one. No, not that one. So that was fun. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about some weirdness, a little bit of what the bleep is going on after week one. We'll also have a rookie report as well. Stick around for more of the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. A little something that Laquan cooked up in the text chat about a week or so ago. A little segment we're going to call "What the is going on." I think it especially. I know we need a bleep button, right? It especially applies after week one, but I do think it's going to be a thing that will recur all year long. So let's just start. In New England, we were all hyped about Travion Henderson. The ADP was going to the moon and beyond. It was Buzz Lightyear to infinity and beyond was the hype for Travion Henderson. And then Ramondre Stevenson outsnaps him on Sunday. Florio, what the is going on?
Usual rookie stuff where like the coach has to let the rookie slowly come on, and so I came away from yesterday being like, if you watch the game, Travion Henderson is easily the best running back. Like he had fewer carries than Ramondre Stevenson and nearly doubled him in rushing yards. He doubled him in targets and receiving yards. I know it wasn't the huge day from Henderson, but also if you watch that game, it was a very slippery field. It wasn't like pristine conditions or anything like that. And he still looked better because the thing that gets sapped on like fields like that tends to be big explosive runs, especially for a shifty runner. But yeah, I came away from yesterday. I have Henderson as a start for week 2. I feel good that it's only going to continue to grow and grow and grow his workload. And yeah, just watching them, to me, I don't even think it's close talent wise.
I was putting together my list of sleepers for week 2, and I'm like, does Travion Henderson count as a sleeper? Does it, because he was so hyped by folks like us this offseason. I know it wasn't great in week 1, but I'm like, this dude was like a 3rd round pick in a lot of leagues. It's hard for me to, do the mental gymnastics necessary to call him a sleeper, but I may try. Stay tuned when the column comes out on Thursday to see if he made the cut in sleepers for sure. Laquan, any real worry about Stevenson maybe holding on to that RB1 gig in New England?
Absolutely not. I mean, like Florio said, if you watch the game, you already see who's the most dangerous and most electric of that backfield. Like, I don't know what the game plan was. I don't know if we were just hyping them two up. We were giving away the game plan to the Raiders. And, Rabo's kind of like, yo, let's hype it down. Let's put it down. We'll unlock him next week. But I do feel like, to me, I am satisfied that I had him in my starting lineups as my flex. Like, I'm okay with the production got. The dude had 6 targets, 6 catches. Like, that's all I need to see. There's some type of usage for this backfield. So I do think that Stevenson will fade the black soon, and then it'll be Antonio Gibson starting over him soon. So it'll be the Travion Henderson show real quick.
Oh, we don't. I mean, look, nothing against Antonio Gibson. Let's just not put a 3rd running back in the atmosphere.
Let's go, Antonio Gibson.
Let's not. Although I will say this, he is the only running back on my Scott Fishbowl team. So for whatever that's worth.
That's insane.
He's the only runner because because you're playing on the sleeper platform, you get 1.5 points per reception for wide receiver.
I forgot there's no positions. For a minute, I thought you went in with just
one running back. No,
that was it.
It's like a couple of quarterbacks and like a bunch of flexes. So it's mostly
Explain
wide
the rule
receivers and
more
tight
spin.
ends. And then late in the draft, because all the running backs that I kind of wanted kept getting taken right before I could get to them. And finally I'm looking around and in the next to last round or whatever it was, and I was like, Antonio Gibson, he might catch a couple passes every once in a
Oh,
while.
It makes sense once you explain it, but on its head, it sounds crazy.
Just like I'm sure I was like, "You're gonna lose," which I might anyway because this guy fishbowls really hard. But
Yeah.
that's my logic behind it. Um, on the other side of that, right, the Raiders. We came into this season, Laquan, looking at the Raiders like they got Pete Carroll as their head coach. They brought in Chip Kelly. They drafted Ashton Jincy. We were drafting Ashton Jincy in the first round because the Raiders are just going to run the football. But what if they don't? All of a sudden, they run 38 pass plays. Geno Smith goes for 362 yards, 24 rushing plays. Jincy was just kind of meh. Look, what the is going on?
the field conditions, man. They were playing on a terrible soccer field. It looked like that got rained out, man. And Genti just kept slipping. I mean, he needs to get those 8-inch cleats that they got, whatever the case may be. But I think I'm chalking that up as like this was just a terrible, terrible game. Just a field of play, a quality of play from this entire offense when it comes to getting Genti the ball. The game plan should have been feed him the ball 20-25 times, regardless of the field conditions. But they wanted to showcase that 12 personnel, which I would think Chip Kelly was under the impression that he wants to get Michael Mayer involved just as much as a Brock Bowers, which is kind of scary. But it's like one of those things that they were able to go out there and put on a productive offense. And I do like the Raiders offense a lot better now, seeing what they have on the table. I mean, Geno Smith airing it out, man, top 5 in air yards right now currently, heading into the Monday night. So I look at this offense as that there's opportunities for Jacoby Myers, who showed up and showed out and said, hey, you better pay me, my boy. But I think there's going to be higher upside next week for Ashton Genty, so I'm not worried just yet.
19 carries, 38 yards, did have the touchdown. A couple of targets which really didn't amount to much. They had 2 catches for 2 yards. Nothing really
Keep pounding the rock. Let's
nothing
go.
excited to get excited about. Okay, granted, they probably are not going to be as pass heavy going forward, but Florio, look at this. 10 targets to Jacoby Myers, 8 targets to Brock Bowers. That is to be expected. Is there anybody else in that pass catching group that you have any level of confidence in, or is it just gonna kind of be those two that it's funneled through?
So confidence, it's those two, but I'm very interested in Deontay Thornton. I know right now he is just like a big play guy, and he did showcase that he could make one of those big plays yesterday in the game. He had a long catch. Um, 22 routes though in his first game. Like Trey Tucker didn't do a whole lot. I think it's possible that Thornton could overtake and become the number 2 wide receiver in 2 wide receiver sets and stuff. And then Michael Mayer, like there's talent there. We've all spoken about that on this show plenty. So if one of those two could step up and be the number 3 target, obviously the bar for success is a little bit lower at tight end, but I do think there's potential there. Just not confident enough to be like, yeah, start these guys or anything like that.
It's wild though, because Bowers was off the field for a good long stretch in the first half. In fact, you look, just 21 routes run compared to 17 routes run for Michael Mayer. So I don't know if that was a weird week 1 thing. I know Bowers, had a knee injury, got hurt at some point. The Raiders say it's not serious, so there's nothing to really panic about. But very weird that early on we saw a lot of Michael Mayer. To your point, I mean, it's a guy who set a tight end receiving record at Notre Dame. That's no small feat.
Yeah.
So he obviously has talent. He can play. He just right now is overshadowed by the best young
They
tight
hit
end in the
us.
game.
They hit us with we have 2 tight end ones. And honestly, I believe that 35% of the time they ran the 12 personnel. So I think that's honestly what we're going to see moving forward if they're going to have 2 tight end ones.
Yeah, I think there was some talk of it, and they definitely showed that on
Yeah.
Sunday. I don't know how this works in terms of a passing game. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I in a great world, it turns out sort of like Gronk and Aaron Hernandez when they had it really rolling there in New England. How both those guys were startable fantasy options. Would love that. You would want to wait another week or two before I'm ready to proclaim that's what's happening just right now. Um, Laquan, I'm gonna direct this one at you because you are the RJ Harvey stan of record on this show. Look, Harvey had a big run that kind of helped his numbers at the end. J.K. Dobbins ended up having a decent game and scoring a touchdown. Um, but a lot of Tyler Beatty playing.
Why, Sean? Why,
I said,
Sean?
what the
Why?
is going on, man?
This fits perfect for the segment. What the bleep is going on? Because why is he on the field? Like, why is he even playing? The 12 snaps were not even contributing to anything of what it was. Like, RJ Harvey touched the ball only 12% of the team, and he led the entire team in scrimmage yards. What are we doing, Sean? Like, we need to have a conversation. Like, I don't know if somebody needs to just bump on the head. Like, do not use RJ Harvey like you use Marvin Mims. Like, don't try to use him, sprinkle him in the offense when you want to, whenever you feel like it. No, he is the offense. What are you doing? And like my boy Bo, come on now, he getting too comfortable. He was doing
It
some
was not a great
questionable
game
stuff
for
out
Bo.
there.
Not a great game.
And then you want to sprinkle in RJ Harvey to get the spark going for the offense so they can go down there and score. You see what I'm saying? If you do it, it will work. Okay, let's just don't play the silly games and get too cute. It don't make sense.
It took
All
one
right, I'm
week
done.
to get to this point. This
Right.
is what Sean Payton does.
I mean, didn't I spend the whole offseason warning you
Yes.
about this, Laquan? I spent all this time warning you this summer that this is what Sean Payton does.
What is wrong with him?
He hates our fantasy teams. He hates our fantasy
I'm pretty sure
teams.
it has to be that. Like, if he comes out and say, I hate your fantasy teams, then okay, I respect it. You
Then
got
I
it.
understand.
You cool. I will know better. But this just does not make sense. It looks like you're trying to sabotage your own team. Like, what are we doing?
I just again like Harvey showed his explosiveness, had the one big run that set up the Dobbins touchdown a play or two later. So
Got
we know it's
robbed.
there, but he only had 6 carries in the entire
You-
game.
You can't use him until we see him. Like, I have him as a sit this week, and I have a lot of RJ Harvey, but like, I don't think you can start him until we see him get, like, because he's not gonna have a 50-yard run every week, and if he's gonna get 7 touches again next week, it's too difficult to. I think moving forward, J.K. Dobbins is the Broncos running back to start until we see otherwise.
That sounds terrible.
I mean,
Sorry,
look-
it hurts me just as much. Maybe not as much, but it does hurt me.
Dobbins for 63 and a touch, though. I mean, that's not bad considering the draft capital you probably spent to get him. So that part is actually okay. And to your point, I mean, he had 16 carries. You know, he had a couple of targets.
Bailey's
yeah,
hurting him too, though. 6 targets. Like,
yeah. I don't.
There's some
understand.
words that I can't say on here that I will say offline.
Sean,
Just know.
Sean Payton, I don't think it's that he hates our fantasy team. I think it's that he falls in love with the fringe guys at the end of his roster and is like, I need to find a way to get this guy some touches.
Well, you know, I think every now and then Sean Payton wants to remind us that he's the smartest guy in the room.
That
Galaxy
too.
brain.
You know,
Galaxy
and
brain.
he just has to remind
Fried.
everybody he's the smartest guy in the room, and he's gonna find some other way to do things that nobody ever thought about. I mean, that was how Taysom Hill became a thing for so many years. It started out as like something kind of fun to do, and it's like, oh, this is kind of working. We're gonna make this into a thing, and you know, we all
And
were
no one else
saying
wanted it.
curse words.
Well, yeah.
Nobody else wanted it. No, he was a piece that fit in that particular puzzle, and really nowhere else.
What are we
Nowhere
doing?
else. Speaking of puzzle pieces, the Lions lost a couple big puzzle pieces, losing their offensive coaching staff to various places around the league. John Morton takes over as the offensive coordinator. Lions offense didn't look particularly great. I know that was one of the big questions coming in, right? How are things going to go in Detroit without Ben Johnson and Tanner Ingstrom and, you know, a lot of other pieces there? I don't know that this is quite as urgent as maybe Tyler Beatty playing or Ramondre Stevenson getting a ton of snaps from Florida. What the is going on in Detroit?
I am pretty worried. Look, I know it's one game and week 1 is a liar, and it was against a really good Packers defense that has always given, like, Jared Goff has never played well in Lambeau as a Lion, and this defense has and then they added Micah Parsons, so I get all that. And I understand. But I think week 1 went about as poorly as it possibly could have for the Lions. It wasn't even the fact that they averaged 3.8 yards per play, which is worse than any individual game in the 3 years that Ben Johnson was there. It was the fact that Jared Goff was constantly under duress. The Lions gave up a lot of pressure yesterday, and maybe it was more just me watching it and feeling that way. I haven't checked the actual stats yet, but it felt like he had no time to throw. There was no deep plays because he was constantly looking to get rid of the ball right away. And as Laquan could speak on better than me, Jared Goff under duress is not what you want to
Not
see.
great.
Jared Goff is at his best when he has time and he could go through his progressions and all of that. So just as much as Ben Johnson being away, them losing the interior of their offensive line, I think was greatly dismissed this offseason, and it reared its ugly head in week 1. And you guys could, and I've gone back and forth. It's against the Bears, who we haven't seen them play yet this year, but last year they were the best team against quarterbacks in the NFL fantasy-wise. But Jared Goff is at home. I'm considering saying to sit Jared Goff next week. Do you guys think I'm crazy?
I don't think you're crazy. I mean, I think it's a conversation to be had. I would feel okay. I feel okay, not great about starting Jared Goff next week at home. You know, as Adam Rank has famously said before, Jared Goff is an indoor cat, and he will be indoors. That's the good news. The bad news, it is going to be against this Bears defense. So, yeah, I think there are definitely two sides to that coin that sort of have to be discussed about this.
Yeah, the goof troop.
How do we feel, Laquan? How do we feel about Jahmyr Gibbs pulling a Wan'Dale Robinson yesterday?
What, the 10 catches for 31 yards? It's
10
disgusting.
catches on 10 targets for
What are we
31 yards.
doing?
Like, if
I
you
had to
haven't been
relook at
radicalized
that.
against full point PPR, this should do it.
Well, yeah, you should be like looking at this like, huh? 30, like 131 yards or 31? Like, that don't make sense. 10 catches and he led the team. Like, I think John Morton kind of galaxy brained this whole week 1 game plan because, like, I just was disgusted of everything I've seen, like, on that offense. Like 5.5 yards per attempt from Jared Goff. That's super conservative. And folks were like the Lions fans on the timeline were like trying to justify, like, well, he's playing really good. He's completing all his passes. Okay, but they're going nowhere. Like, what are we talking about? You're not seeing Amon-Ra in the design play of being drawn open. You're not seeing Jameson Williams being as electric that we know he can be. Like, Sam Laporta was like the main piece, which is kind of disgusting to say and look at, but what are we actually looking at in this Lions offense? And then next week, you got Ben Johnson, the creative brain of that, and knowing every weakness of Jared Goff. Like, this is going to be a terrible, terrible start for the Lions for this season. So, like, I'm not going out there pushing out James Williamson in my starting lineup. I'm not going out there even thinking about putting David Montgomery. Like, guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, we paid the investment. You got to start him. Amon-Ra, he wasn't that sexy first-round pick, but I still think, like, you should feel confident rolling him out that he remains the function of this offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't.
Go ahead.
I don't have the options to get away from Jameson Williams.
That's the
you
thing.
know?
It's like the way where I drafted him, like, I'm sort of locked in, right? I mean, it's hard to get away from him. I do think it's funny that, you know, people are latching on to completion percentage here because, yeah, sure, Goff
It doesn't matter.
80% of his
No.
passes, but if they don't go anywhere,
Where did they go? Like,
it didn't do
did
you any
nothing.
good.
Completion
Shout-
percentage is
shout
one of
out
the
to
most
Isaac
overrated
Tesla.
stats.
Shout out to
in
Isaac
football.
Tesla. I was happy about the touchdown, the one-hander he got.
That was pretty dope.
was impressive. Yeah,
That was
like,
impressive.
All he does is score. So I think
Absolutely.
they need to start leaning into that.
My
putting
Jared
him
Goff
more out there.
Superflex teams really liked that one. That was about the only thing to
That's
like
about the only
yesterday.
thing. Also, I think we should start saying his name like Kendrick Lamar says mustard. Tesla.
Ah, I like it.
That's
His
how
A's
we
going
should-
across the screen.
Yeah, you know, a whole bunch of A's back there for sure. Want to get into a quick little rookie report. Some of the notable rookies in their NFL debuts. Emeka Egbuka had a huge day. 6 targets, 4 catches for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns on my bench. Thanks. That's not you. That's not your fault, Emeka. That's my fault. That's user error here. But you know, I think there's more of that to
You're
come.
not the only one. Like, I had him on my bench too. It's because where we were drafting the degenerates we were, he wasn't going in the 6th round. He wasn't
Yeah.
going in the 5th round. You know, like when we drafted him, we were already getting on our running backs, getting all our wide receivers. So the least that I did sit him, I'm kind of just like, okay, well, yeah, whatever. There was no way I was going to bench the other guys that I had.
I sat him for Pickens in a league, and I think I might flip that this week.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's something
Yeah.
we could talk about for sure. Jacory Krosky Merrick, get your Bill puns ready. I'm just a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill. And I'm sitting here just running the pill. 10 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Got you 14.2 fantasy points. Are we ready to say, Laquan, that he is the RB1 in Washington? I mean, they Chris Rodriguez a healthy scratch in week 1.
You hear that? The Chris Rodriguez revolution is gone. It's dead because it made no sense to even begin with to be made overnight. Yes, it is Bill. It is always going to be Bill. He is the RB1 for the Commanders, and he's shown for the limited touches that he did have that he can be very, very lethal in that backfield. And I honestly think Austin Eckler still has a role, of course, but when it comes down to it, he looked the part. He looked the role. Smooth, sweet feet, tap dancing at the line of scrimmage and getting through all the holes that he needed to get through. And this is a guy that was drafted in the 7th round. This is a guy that is a rookie in his debut, come out and swinging and putting all the haters to bed. So I am ready to publicly say Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt needs to be considered as a flex on a week-to-week basis.
So we've talked about this, with RJ Harvey. It probably applies to Travis Etienne, who I know, Laquan, you predicted would have a big week, and he absolutely did.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, shout out to you because you were on top of that. But Floyd, when you look at some of these guys who statistically the day looks good, but then you dive into it and there's like one big run, right? RJ Harvey had the one big run for like 50 yards. Etienne had a 70-yard run. JCM has a 42-yard run. How do you weigh that, right? Because you can't rely on that every week. And for those guys, like the number of carries was sort of down. Like how, would you start him, Sito? I mean, like how do you take that into account?
Usage matters more than production, and especially early on in the season. And that's why, like, I know people are worried about Marion Hampton, and I wrote about him, and I'm like, don't be. Like, he had absolutely elite usage. That's why I'm not worried about Ashton Genty at all. He played 86% of the snaps, Crosby Merritt, look, he looked good. He did something that's never been done before, 75 yards and a touchdown. No player taken after the top 200 picks has ever done that in their debut.
Ooh.
But Eckler and Nichols had combined for just as many carries as him. Jaden Daniels had more carries than him. Debo Samuel got involved in it. And JCM Bill wasn't utilized in the passing game. I think this was a good week 1 for him. I think people are going to make it bigger than it should be. Like, of the names you mentioned, like ETN is the one that I'm like, I was wrong about him in the summer, and I'm writing about him as a start this week because he dominated opportunities and volume there. And that is what I care about a lot more because like we said with Harvey, you can't bank on a 50-yard run every week. You can't bank on a 70-yard run. But if your guy's touching the ball 15 times, 1, the likelihood of a big play goes up, but 2, you're going to just accumulate stats and volume and be someone that has a safe floor and is reliable for fantasy. So I think this was a good week 1 for Bill. I do think the many Bill supporters might push him up a little too high though.
Yeah, you're gonna spend some fab. If he's out there, you probably have to spend some fab to get him.
He's on my
I
bench.
spent $60 out of 100 in the flex league last week to get him.
Okay.
Damn, you dropping bags.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
I was like, hey, how often can you find a guy who might be an RB1 on waivers?
That's true. Very, very true, for sure. Other guys, Ashton Genty, we talked about him. The 19 carries, 38 yards. Not a whole lot there, but the usage was good. There's nobody else getting touches backfield for the Raiders. Travis Hunter, 8 targets, 6 catches, 33 yards. The
team high 8 targets.
Team high 8 targets. Also played 6 snaps on defense. He says he can do more. I think the Jaguars sort of want to ease him into that side of it because they definitely want to make him a wide receiver. I see you rubbing your chin there. Would you like to present what are we calling this? The T-Mid Board of Doom? What is the middle meter? I was like,
the middle meter.
He's got to go up on that.
You mean down?
Is up good or bad?
Up is good.
He's going to earn his name.
I thought the higher he went on it, the more mid he was.
Oh, no. Yeah. He's on his way to earn.
He's got to go down, man.
He's trying to work his way to T-Law. Yeah, he was.
I tweeted out.
It was not good.
It was Jacob Gibbs. He tweeted out these clips. I repushed them. If you guys want to go see it. He missed a wide open Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. with clean pockets and stuff. Like, what are we doing, Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, I went back and watched that game last night.
Regular Sunday.
There were just some bad throws by Lawrence. Some tough throws into coverage that he just didn't give his receivers a real chance on. It was a rough quarterback game all the way around because Bryce Young was not good on the other side too. But yeah, I watched that game and was like, yeah, there's no way
But
Trevor
that was
Lawrence is
against the
getting. He's not
Panthers.
beating the mid allegations.
The
Not right now.
Panthers. Exactly. It's
Yeah.
the Panthers. And you go out there and do that. And you're a top 5 paid quarterback. And I know we ain't going to use that as the criteria. But God, he was god awful. I mean, look, on passes of 10 plus yards, 32 passer rating. Yes, 32, 45% completion rate on downfield passes. This is exactly what Mac Jones was able to unlock with Brian Thomas Jr. Mac Jones, what's his government name, Marcus?
Michael McCorkle Jones.
That guy, Mr. Jones, went out there and put up
Mr.
big
Cool
numbers for
Man.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Great
Here
song.
we are. Here we are with T mid. He might have to go to T low at this point because God, he was god awful. Like I just had to turn it off. Like I was just like, all right, I'm done with this.
You want to know something that'll make you even more mad, Laquan? He was under pressure at the lowest rate of any quarterback.
Lowest rate. I saw that and I was just so pissed off. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
He's got 2 all-world wide receivers, and he's airmailing them in clean pockets. Like,
You're not even under distress. Like, what are you doing?
would you? So here's while we're on Lawrence, would you start him next week against the Bengals?
No.
No.
Because look, if I drafted Trevor Lawrence, I also drafted another quarter. Like I had drafted Trevor
Yes.
Lawrence just like, hey man, like I might need a bye week guy. Like I'm not. So no. I'm
No, you're
You're
gonna
not
be the
starting him
guinea
against
pig.
the Bengals though. Like I don't know if you're ever gonna
No.
start him.
MG, you're going to be the guinea pig, being that you have Trevor Mid-Lawrence, and let us know of your actual experience and
I don't
feelings
think
of
I
the
do
middle
have.
meter.
I was saying if I did have him, it would have been because
Oh.
I drafted another guy. I don't think I drafted him anywhere. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
I don't think
didn't.
anybody should, but we'll see. We'll see.
Ugh. Brian Thomas, 7 targets, 1 catch for 11 yards.
He had a
He scored a
rushing
rushing
touchdown.
He did have a rushing. He had a rushing touchdown, so
Ooh.
that was good.
Hunter
yeah.
scored
The
too.
only way he's gonna get him this year.
Trevor
Hunter scored.
Trevor.
Hunter Long.
I was gonna say like what? I watched that game. Like, well, no, he didn't.
You probably don't remember this, but the only thing I associate Hunter Long with was we did a skit once, and next to it just said, "Is he a cyborg?" And that's the only thing I ever associate Hunter Long
In the
with.
Dynasty Builders.
I forgot about that. What was that? That might still exist somewhere on the internet. We should try to dig that up again, see if we can do there. The other one I wanted to get to real quick is Tyler Warren. Somebody asked me, what are the percentage chances that he could get to 10 targets? I was like, I don't know, like 20, maybe 30%. I should have upped it because he got 9 targets. So like 9 targets, 7 catches, 76 yards. The thing that I saw with him in the preseason applied in the regular season. When Tyler Warren is on the field, they are going to throw him the football. And watching the Colts, and I get it, the Dolphins, they might be a dumpster fire all year long. Cam Wolf sort of warned us about this before the season. The Dolphins could be bad. But what I saw in week 1, guys, I think Tyler Warren might be the #1 target on this team. Like, I think he could lead this team in targets and receptions after what I saw in week 1 against the Dolphins.
I agree. Yeah. I think as long as Daniel Jones completes the ball, and that's all the Colts needed. They just needed somebody to complete the ball. And I think Tyler Warren, the way they were utilizing him on that offense, he's going to be a huge problem. But next week will be the true test, though. They got Denver. So we'll see how Daniel Jones holds up. And then Tyler Warren, I definitely think he's a start. Like, I don't think we need to play the guessing game, And like, I think he is a clear start. He's going to be a high target share type of tight end where we're going to be talking about him in the big 3 at the end of the season.
Yeah.
No,
That's how I had it ranked coming in. And if you were trying to get Tyler Warren from me this week, it would be McBride or Bowers because Kittle's hurt. Like, those are the only players I would accept at tight end for him.
Yeah.
Facts.
So, but if you have Bowers or McBride, you're not trading for Tyler
Yeah,
Warren.
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so there
But
it is.
again, that it goes back to our point all summer that we're beating the dead horse with this, is saying, like, I'm not paying that premium for Trey McBride and Brock Bowers when I can wait on Tyler Warren. Like, the elite target share is going to be there for him.
Yeah.
One fun fact. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just like, I mean, I like Tyler Warren. I didn't think he'd be getting McBride Bowers level target share. At least he's not in week 1. I mean, I liked him. I drafted him, but I also drafted him like to pair maybe with somebody else. So I am pleasantly surprised.
That's how I drafted Colston Loveland. But to
Same.
be continued. We'll see how that plays.
We'll see. We'll see on Monday.
There's 2 tight ends in NFL history that have 7 catches in week 1 as a rookie. It's Tyler Warren and Harold Fannin Jr.
We will get to Harold Fan a little bit later on. We got the waiver wire. We're going to dive into that in just a little bit. So, but yeah, Tyler Warren off to a great start. The rookies, on the whole, I think acquitted themselves very well, especially the top guys that we were counting on. I think acquitted themselves very well in week 1. We'll see what Colston Loveland has tonight against the Minnesota Vikings for sure. Take a break. Come back.
Pressure's on.
Pressure's on, Colston. You have 24 hours to respond. Overreaction Theater and some waiver wire coming up next on the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. Of course, with week 1, things happen, and a lot of times we tend to overreact to them one way or another. I mean, if a guy is good in week 1, that means he's going to be amazing all year long. If a guy is bad in week 1, well, then you just threw away a draft pick, and what were you doing, you fool? So we got 3 things here. Aaron Rodgers goes up in the revenge tour that begins apparently in week 1, goes up against his old team, the Jets, throws 4 touchdown passes. Steelers hang on for a win. So, Laquan, we were all wrong about Aaron Rodgers, right? And he should have been a QB1. He should have been the first QB off the board because apparently he's great now. Again.
Voldemort, the name we shall not say. I don't like talking about Aaron Rodgers because I do feel like the more we pumped him up, it's like
his power only grows the more
it
times
only
you say
grows
his name.
stronger because it's like he just feels all. He's such a troll. Like him returning
true.
back to New Jersey, like he let the Jets fans know, like y'all should have kept me, man. I'm out here balling. What's up? What's up? And I think he's gonna take that and fuel his cockiness, his arrogance, and everything of his persona right now. And he may go out there and be like the Steelers QB1 in fantasy. Like, I do think there is a reality of that because he wasn't hyper focusing on DK Metcalf. Like, he was getting John New involved. He was getting Pat Freiermuth involved. Calvin Austin had a touchdown. Like, guys on this offense were just coming together, contributing the ball. I figured in the offseason that it would be a hyper focus on DK Metcalf. And in doing that and trying to put all that weight on DK, you're going to see the end result of why he's not in Seattle anymore. So I do feel like this may be an overreaction in week 1, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're in week 2, 3, and 4, and he's still going out there throwing like 2 to 3 touchdowns, even though he put up 4.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not either. I think this was him against a team that he had a personal vendetta against. Like I think
He's gonna build off of that. He's gonna build
on it's like it powers him. I tweeted in the first half like Rodgers has not looked good because he took some bad sacks. He airmailed a couple of throws.
Oh yeah. I want to make that clear. Yeah, he's definitely playing his age. Like at the speed of the game, it's a whale behind him, but he still has that flick it off and quick off.
He's got one of the best arm talents of all time, but he had one of his touchdowns was a long catch and run. One, the guy was completely wide open. Like I think the Jets defense isn't what it once was, and it hasn't been since they got rid of Robert Saleh. But I think it was more that like this. He'll have a couple of games where he pops, but I don't think this is the new norm.
By the way, we talked about Sean Payton, but fantasy public enemy number 1, Arthur Smith, was at it again.
Oh yeah,
a lot of Kenneth Gainwell early on.
Very little Caleb Johnson.
The first touchdown went to Ben Skoranek. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I let the fantasy streets live. They did not hear me take this victory lap because I do think Caleb Johnson will be fine by the end of time. He'll get in work.
By the end of time.
By the end of this season. Like, I just think that folks spending a 6th-round pick on him.
The universe, Caleb Johnson will get.
But you know what you were signing up for. Like, folks are so surprised
the world
about Kenny
comes to an
Gainwell.
end. He'll have a good game.
Yeah,
two
there
snaps.
You go.
Two
Bro,
snaps.
Kenny Gainwell is real. Kenny Gainwell is real. Like, that's what folks need to take this information, soak it in and process and understand. Like, you are working and operating under a Arthur Smith, the fantasy streets boogeyman system. Like, that's just what it is.
Gainwell had more snaps than Jaylen Warren.
Are we surprised Johnny Smith had a design run in the red zone?
Not even a little bit.
He's been telling us who he's been this entire time, and we keep buying into it and making these false narratives. Like, all right, fantasy.
Speaking of Jonnu Smith, I saw the tweet that if Harold Fannin is a top 5 tight end, Laquan's going blonde, and I'm bringing that to this show.
We were not bringing that to the public yet. God damn it. I was hoping nobody saw the tweet.
Are we doing this?
I saw the tweet. You promoted it yesterday.
We got that name queued up in waiver wire. We will get there.
If Harold Fannin Jr. finishes as a top 5 tight end, oh my God, we are going full blonde then. Like seriously, like I will dye the hair blonde, not the spray. We ain't going Cisco.
We'll do the Cisco.
We ain't doing the thong song. No, we ain't going that route.
That blonde, blonde. That's what we're
I'll
doing.
probably
That's what
do
we're
like
doing.
top half and then like try to fade it with the black. I'm not going full blonde. My wife will leave me. Not happening.
Hey, all right.
We'll do
We'll
Frank
get to that
Ocean.
though. AJ Brown had one more target than the three of us combined.
Yikes.
Did we waste a pick, Florio, on AJ Brown?
I don't think we wasted a pick, but I definitely might have overinflated AJ Brown a bit. I think the more worrisome part for me was that he was watching the game. I kept being like, he's not getting open. Like he's not creating a lot of separation. And I worry if this hamstring that we heard about in the summer and kept him out of the preseason, if that was still a thing. So I have AJ Brown on a lot of teams, and I'm telling you, I'm starting him in week 2. I'm not considering sitting him. But if he comes out there and has like another like 2 target game, then I'm going to be real worried because I don't think it is a AJ Brown suddenly forgot how to play football thing or that Jalen Hurts and the Eagles suddenly forgot AJ Brown is good. I just worry if he is not 100% healthy right now.
Also, I just wonder if there's some of it though that playing a Dallas team that knows them very well, right? The Cowboys see them twice a year, every year. They sort of know the tendencies and that sort of thing. And I'm just wondering how much that played into it. Maybe that they decide we're going to take AJ Brown away and we're going to force you to beat us in other ways.
The thing is that Jalen Hurts didn't even look his way. Like, I mean, AJ Brown ran just as many routes as Devontae Smith, but he was only targeted on 4% of his routes. So it's more so of like the game plan might have just been Dallas Goedert, run the ball, win the game, and go home. Like, I think that AJ Brown has a ramp-up period that we do have to just monitor. I'm not going to worry next week if he goes out there and puts up less than 10 fantasy points. Reason why is because we had the information in the summer that he was dealing with a hamstring injury. So it just may be a slow burn where he might get back to form. And in terms of like he got injured early in the season last year, and then after that, that boy just went crazy. So I'm not panicking just yet.
I
I'm
mean,
going to hold back.
He does have the ability to just rip off like 5 20-point games in a row.
Exactly.
I mean,
a game where he has 5 catches and 150 yards. Like that's
right.
in his utility belt. That's why I'm not too worried about it,
All right. So neither of the Batmans, skinny or swole, had a big game this week. I'm looking at, they combined four targets, 4 catches, 24 yards between the two of them.
And
It felt
Dallas
a little
Goedert,
bit to me like the Eagles were like, want to see us win without using our top 2 wide receivers. like they just, I always joke with like my Met fan friends, like Edwin Diaz will walk the bases loaded and then get 3 strikeouts because he's so good that he just wants to test himself.
Just because I can.
I feel like the Eagles are kind of reaching that territory.
Yeah. That also seems, if they really did that, that is just the ultimate shade against the Cowboys.
Facts.
One for sure. The Bengals got a win. Yay! Good for them. They're 1-0 for the first time. It feels like forever. Florida, the offense wasn't great. And I get it. Look, Myles Garrett just loves playing the Bengals. There was a series where he got 2 sacks in a row and very nearly got 3 straight sacks on Joe Burrow.
Scott Hansen was losing it.
Oh, he was just over the moon about the possibility of it. Are we concerned about the Bengals offense? They got a win, but it wasn't explosive at all. Are we out? Did I mess up by taking Jamar Chase at 1.01?
No.
Should I have not done that?
Look, it was the worst game Jamar Chase has ever played, full game, probably fantasy wise at least. But no, like, did they do this yearly? Look, if you're the Bengals, you got to be wondering what has to happen because you're like, we came out, we played in the preseason, we got ready, and we still play like this. I think though it's also a reminder that these teams, just like the Eagles, Cowboys, they know each other so well, and the strength of the Browns is their defense. So I'm not, obviously not panicking or anything like that. It's just frustrating because I'm gonna lose a couple of games because my Bengals didn't really do anything. It's you're not panicking. They're still must start at pretty much every position, but it's just annoying,
Yeah, I get it.
They
Chase
took that boy
Brown. Chase Brown
out.
had a decent fantasy game though. Had the 43
but he
yards
averaged
at a
2
touchdown.
yards per carry.
Yeah, that's not great.
Disgusting.
But
It's disgusting.
had the touchdown, had a couple catches. Just, when Joe Burrow only throws for 113 yards, there's only so many passing yards, so many receiving yards.
Bro, he completed 3 passes in the second half. 1 to Noah Fant and 2 to T. Higgins. That was it in the entire second half.
Noah Fant catching a touchdown That's not. We don't
That's
like. We don't like
annoying.
to see that.
That's not even cool. Like,
We
what
don't.
happened
We
to
don't.
Mike Gesicki?
We don't
Come
need
on,
to see
man.
that. Nobody needs that right now. Nobody needs that. As we get out of here, of course, it is Monday, which means time to start looking at waiver wire options. Going to get ahead of it a little bit. Some of the quarterbacks, Michael Penix Jr., who looked very, very great, was like Plastic Man as he stretched for the end zone on a touchdown. Unfortunately, Young Wei Koo could not make a game-winning field goal, and so it all went for naught, at least for the Falcons. Daniel Jones, I would caution you, don't get too in love with Daniel Jones because he had one good game. We've seen this before. We've also seen the rest of it. So approach
That was for Laquan.
that with caution.
Let's go.
Jackson Dart, which is a name that was popping up a lot on Sunday because
Ooh,
Russell Wilson
yeah.
was not having a good day. I got a text from a Giants fan friend who was like, yeah, he's like, it might be a month before we see. Because he was of the opinion that it might be like closer to Thanksgiving. It might be a month now before we see Jackson.
It might be a
Dart.
week.
I'm about to
Could
say
be
next
even
week. We are
Could
here.
be even sooner before we see. You see, the Giants have not scored a touchdown in their season opener in 3 straight years.
Oh my God.
The last time that happened was the Detroit Lions from 1940 to 1942.
I thought you
Were
were
we
gonna
at
say like
war?
when they had that awful stretch recently from the 40s. Oh
The
my
40s.
God.
The last
we at
time
war?
a team went.
Yes!
3 straight week ones without a touchdown. So, yikes.
There was a little war going on around that time.
Yeah,
Oh
there were
my.
things happening in the world.
Segregation wasn't even a thing. Jesus Christ.
What? I don't even know where to start with that. So we're gonna move on to running backs. What? That's gonna break my brain all day long. Like what? No, huh? One, it was, but okay, we're moving on. We're moving on. Running backs. Quinshawn Judkins, Dylan Sampson. Quinshawn Judkins, Dylan Sampson. We talked about Judkins and Sampson earlier in the show. Zach Charbonnet, who got a lot
Kudos
of
to
work
you.
for the Seahawks.
No one said to start him this week but you, Marcus. So
Zach
kudos to
Charbonnet,
you.
man, sipping Charbonnet. It's what I named my one of my fantasy teams.
Oh, he didn't go. He went to the other school not this school, UCLA.
He went.
What is their thing?
They do an 8 clap because they apparently have to count to 8 so they can figure out how to clap on beat or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, he went to UC Los Angeles, which
UCLA. I mean,
UC Los
you can say
Angeles
it.
because then
You can
that's
say
sort of no, because you say UC Los Angeles, they like UCLA. If you say UC Los Angeles, then it's like saying UC Riverside or UC San Diego. Like they feel
So
like
they don't
UCLA
like it.
is something set apart. So you call them UC Los Angeles. It tweaks them a little bit. At least that's how it works in my head. Kenneth Gainwell. We saw him get a lot of opportunity. DJ Giddens, they gave him like a whole drive late in that game
I like
against the
that.
Dolphins.
I like his
So
usage.
I think it's trying to see what they have there, also giving Jonathan Taylor a rest. So I think they do want to use him at some point, at least to give Taylor a breather every once in a while. Trey Benson, who did get some work. The Saints are a little feistier in week 1 than I think a lot of us anticipated. We'll see if that continues. Over at wide receiver, Keenan Allen, who did see some targets. Lad McConkey's still the alpha there, LQ.
No, he's not.
I hate to break it to you. Lad's
he's
still the alpha
not.
there. Yeah,
What?
he is.
Keenan
he
Allen
is.
had like a 35% targets per route run. Like that's elite usage there. So it shows.
I mean, okay, it is, but Lad's still the alpha.
Keenan played 60% of the snaps, and he got all the targets when he was on the field. Like
Lad's still the alpha.
Now. Lad is a contributor to the alpha. He is the wide receiver too.
Okay. Either way, Keenan Allen should be picked up off waivers, though. That's that part of it.
Absolutely.
Marquise Brown, Quentin Johnston, who maybe we gave up on him too quickly. Could be that he's a thing. Justin Herbert was looking his way quite a bit on Friday night.
Do it again.
All right. I mean, look, I get that, but like you can pick him
Quentin
up.
Johnston's got to do it again. Vlad McConkey's got to do it again, but Keenan Allen
doesn't have to do it again. Like
no, because he's been him in the Chargers uniform. He's been him.
All right. Kayshon Boutte, who had a pretty good day. Cedric Tillman, Isaac Tesla, Josh Palmer also made some contributions.
Yo,
you were big on Palmer this offseason. So
yeah, I mean I think he's clearly third, but look, they're gonna be throwing the ball a lot in Buffalo this year.
It was good to see Keon Coleman pop in week 1 too. He had a nice week for sure. On to the tight ends: Juwan Johnson, Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz, and the aforementioned Harold Fannin Jr. I thought
man.
a Browns tight end was gonna have a good day. I had the wrong Browns tight end.
Same.
I thought it was David Njoku that was going to have the day for the Cleveland Browns. Instead, it was Fannin. I know they were excited about him. I didn't think 9 targets, 7 catches, 63 yards was going to be in the offing for Harold Fannin Jr. So, all right. So, is this on the table? Is this for real? The finishes as the top 5. You're going blonde. Are we really doing this? Are we putting this
Yeah,
out there?
let's lock it in. Let's
All
lock
right.
it in. If
Let's
Harold
see,
Fannin
where-
Jr.
Can't wait till Shador to
he's-
Fannin in the second half of the season.
He's
Feeds
currently-
Brady.
He's currently tight end 6 as of this moment.
Insane
Fannin
though.
watch. Dun dun dun.
Who saw this
0.3
coming
points
though?
behind Sam Laporta.
I don't get it. Like David Njoku's still a good tight end, like a well-established tight end. And then this was just like, nope, hyper focused on the backup. Let's go.
Trade Njoku and let Fannin run wild.
This
Just
guy
let
was
it,
in
let
a
it happen.
wildcat. This guy was
Let him eat.
being put in screens, bubble screens. Like they were doing literally everything with him.
The thing that we said a lot on the show during draft time was like he's a tight end in position, but he moves like a wide receiver. And
that
the
John New, man.
Browns are using him in that way.
Man,
In
we got
1 week he could disappear.
we got
but
we have we
got
need a
my
hashtag
attention.
like Stannin for Fannin or something like that.
Standing
like,
for Fannin.
just so we can see Laquan with blonde hair at the end of the season. Like I don't
Now
even
this
I
will be
know-
legit. This will be
If
legit.
Kittle
Oh,
misses time, that makes top 5 a little easier.
I mean, there's one less guy competing.
all right, chill out,
Um,
guys.
You
Chill out
know,
now.
Travis Kelce is
power of the tongue.
busy
The
being an
universe is
entertainer.
listening. The universe is listening now. Chill
you
out.
know, we'll see. You know, when Jake Tonjes is all of a sudden taking a lot of targets in San Francisco,
Stop.
pushing George Kittle to the
49ers are going to be
side,
terrible.
pushing to the side.
Let this
you
be
know.
your last win. I feel like this would be your last win in the entire season, man. Because you
You know
guys
what's
are
funny?
1
falling.
in 16.
Let's go.
You know what's funny is that like you spent a lot of time talking about the 49ers, like
Bro, because y'all keep staying in my DMs and chat.
because you
Like,
keep
what's going
throwing
on?
rocks at people. Like I think about the Rams. Well, I mean, because of this job, I think about them a lot. But as a fan, I think about the Rams twice a year. Like you think about the 49ers. Like, do we get all 3 bedrooms rent free, or can we use the fridge too?
That's as many wins as you'll have this
Do
year.
we
So, yeah,
get
just use the
to
bedroom.
use the? Can we put our food in the fridge for rent free, or do we got to give you a
Put your
deposit
name on
for
it.
that?
Put your name on it
We
because
got
I
to
will
put your
eat it.
deposit for that.
First week of October, we have to have a big bet
Because
between
the
you two.
Niners just live rent free in your head. It is amazing.
Bro, I get
Absolutely
attacked
amazing.
online for no reason. I'm just defending myself.
At this point, I
Call-
just believe it's
we
because you
ask you a
started
random question and you'll be like, "Yeah, well, the 40-winers."
Right, like you know what I'm saying? Like
It
that's
just
people are
happened.
listening. It's a good thing.
you are
It just
you are
happened.
literally like you throw an argument grenade and you're like, why are you yelling at me? Like because you did it. That's why it happens. All right, we've gone on long enough. That's enough. That'll do it. For this edition of the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. We appreciate you hanging out with our nonsense. Stay happy, safe, and healthy. Do good and live well. Enjoy Monday Night Football, everybody. We'll talk to you again on the weekend.